mistake killed the helicopter pilot and 3 other people on board in South Africa today. The pilot was manoeuvring among high buildings in the centre of Cape Town when his tail rotor clipped an advertising sign. Our Africa correspondent Tim Hewitt reports.
The helicopter, a Russian-built Mi-8, was negotiating Cape Town's high-rise buildings to deliver an air conditioning unit. These pictures were recorded by an amateur cameraman working on a promotional video. Slowly, the helicopter began to drift towards an advertising billboard, and what happened next forced the cameraman to dive for cover. In slow motion, the tail rotor can be seen clipping the billboard. Parts of the helicopter's rotor blade smashed into the windows of 2 rooms at a luxury hotel. No one was injured.
All of a sudden, I just saw it losing control, swaying from side to side, and just flipped over and crashed onto the Boston building opposite my room, and it was just this huge explosion.
Crash investigators have now started work. Officials say the helicopter crew was highly experienced and had made numerous airlifts over the past 2 years. Tim Hewitt, News at 10, South Africa.
Retired power and industry workers won the latest round of their legal battle today over who owns the surpluses in their pension funds. The appeal court ruled that the National Grid and National Power acted unlawfully when, between them, they used almost £300 million from their pension funds to fund redundancies. ITN Shuli Ghosh reports.
The pensioners who packed the appeal court were celebrating their victory tonight, a victory affecting the entire electricity supply industry, won by 2 retired engineers.
This is a wonderful ruling. Our appeal has been upheld. That means it's a total victory for us today.
The appeal court had ruled that National Grid and National Power had wrongfully taken millions in pension surpluses to finance redundancies. The power companies had broken the rules and could now be faced with a bill for £1.5 billion. Today's ruling overturns the previous High Court decision that the employers acted in accordance with the pension fund rules. Lord Justice Brooks said employers' obligations to make contributions to the fund should be honoured and not whittled away by unilateral decisions on their part.
The message is that the ethos that surplus simply belongs to the employer, and the employer and the trustees can ride roughshod over the rules, is not a sound belief.
The power companies say pensioners haven't suffered and all benefits members are entitled to have been paid. Legal experts say every employer should take note of today's ruling.
But there's absolutely no hint here that there was any attempt at fraud or any attempt at hoodwinking the trustees. It was simply that the employers misunderstood their powers.
As the celebrations continue, the power companies are now deciding whether to take the case to the Lords. Shuli Ghosh, News at 10.
The Welsh office set up a team of specialists today to look into the meningitis outbreak in South Wales. The announcement came amid mounting pressure in the Pontypridd area for the vaccination programme to be extended to more schools. The Royal College of Nursing has defended its pay policy after a report claimed that it's paying 72 members of its staff more than £40,000 a year. It represents 250,000 nurses who earn an average of £16,000 a year. And the Office of Fair Trading began legal moves today to stop some over-the-counter remedies being exempt from anti-price fixing laws. It's been claimed that the medicines cost consumers an extra £300 million a year. Our special report tonight, in the wake of the disaster in the French Alps, is on avalanches. Like yesterday's, they can come out of the blue and with terrifying and destructive power. But how foreseeable are they? What can be done to minimise the danger? And if people are hit and buried by avalanches, what gives them the best chance of surviving? Our science editor Lawrence McGinty has been talking to the experts.
Suddenly it happens. Solid snow beneath your skis just slides away. Within seconds, thousands of tons of snow are hurtling down the mountainside at speeds up to 150 miles an hour. Anyone in the way is helpless. No one realises that more than Chris Bonington, Britain's most experienced mountaineer. 12 years ago, he watched as his colleagues Nick Escort and Doug Scott were swept away by an avalanche.
I remember seeing and photographing this huge mass of snow, and the size and the scale of it is so then as I took the photograph, I suddenly realised that Nick and Doug Scott were actually crossing it around about that time. I thought they might be in it. Tragically, Nick was in it and Doug got away with it by a hair's breadth. So I've seen it and been personally involved, and they are terrifying things, and they are the most deadly things and the most difficult things to predict in the mountains.
So what leads to an avalanche? The prerequisite is a mountain slope, although the slope need not be that steep. A gradient of only 1 in 4 is enough. The risk is far greater if the slope is a convex one. Snowfalls accumulate on a mountainside in layers, and it's differences in these layers that lead to an avalanche. For example, a layer thawed by the sun can refreeze as ice. A heavy fall on top of that triggers an avalanche because that layer can't grip the ice. 9 out of 10 avalanches occur in these conditions during heavy snowfalls, and that's what happened in Chamonix. According to one leader of the mountain rescue team, yesterday's avalanche followed exceptionally heavy falls.
Yesterday it was very a biggest one, a special one. We have only 1 in 100 years, you know. So it's something special, something at all. You know?
Are you saying there is no way
No,
you can do anything to stop an avalanche
no,
like that?
there is no way.
Most avalanches are started by skiers or climbers themselves, but once caught up in that swirling mass of snow, there's little they can do to extricate themselves. Once the snow has settled, it sets as hard as concrete. But experts say you can do something to help yourself.
They recommend a swimming action when you're actually travelling down in the snow, and that's just try and keep you buoyant, hopefully on top of the avalanche. And then when it's coming to a rest, the recommendation is to try and create some sort of air pocket around your face.
Nowadays, technology can help people caught up in avalanches. Most skiers, for example, now wear jackets like this one, with a built-in reflector that helps rescue parties to locate them. Even safer is a device like this that sends out an SOS signal to help rescuers to home in on a buried skier. Nevertheless, the chances of survival are slim. Avalanches are still fatal reminders of the power of the natural world. Lawrence McGinty, News at 10.
Now cricket, England squandered their chance of victory in the first game of their final one-day series against Australia in Sydney. Glenn McGrath dismissed Alan Mullally to give Australia a 10-run victory with 4 balls to go. England now need to win Friday's match in Melbourne to take the series to its full 3 matches. Football and highlights of England's friendly against the world champions France will be shown after news at 10 tonight, so if you don't want to know what happened, you should look away now. And tonight's winning numbers in the midweek national lottery draw are 2, 20, 21, 33, 35 and 49. The bonus number is 32. Candidates say 2 tickets will share the £4.6 million jackpot. Main headlines again tonight. Rescue workers are still searching tonight for people lost under the snow after the worst avalanches in the French Alps for 90 years. 10 people, all French, are confirmed dead. And the government's insisted that lone parents will not be forced to leave their children and go back to work under welfare reforms announced today. But people will lose benefits if they don't attend regular interviews about job